Oh, there's play. Oh my, it's been a long time. Okay, we'll share my screen, desktop, and we will get to my PowerPoint. Eesh, this thing's in my way. Where is my power? Oh, here, it's down here. Ta-da. Okay, slideshow from beginning. PowerPoint has detected your graphics card need to be configured. Okay. Ta-da. There we go. Yay! You got it. You guys can all see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome to call number 4 of Fast Track to Success. Tonight we're going to talk about sharing the opportunity and something called inform and invite. All right. So when we share a business opportunity, there are people out there who need us, okay? So we will be talking during this session about these things and the difference between informing and inviting. Who has had success in host coaching over the past week? First, we will review a little bit of that. Let's share what's worked for you and your results. Anybody have something they want to share about this past week?
I have a party on the 28th, and my host finally got back to me in regards to verifying her email address to set up the party, because she was like, hey, I haven't received my invitations. I was like, I was waiting for information from you. So, but I had already mailed them actually the day before she had contacted me, and figured I could always change her email once she did get back to me. So,
well, that's exciting that she reached out to you looking for him. That's a good sign.
Well, I had emailed her, I had text messaged her 2 different days, and I hadn't, heard back from her, so I was almost thinking she was going to be a ghost and wasn't wanting to do it anymore, but I went ahead and had mailed the host packet to her and her invitations, and because she said she wanted to do it old school, giving invites. So.
Oh, good. Good. Anybody else?
I had 2 bookings off the party that I'm finishing tonight. So I had 2 parties booked off of that party.
That's exciting.
She was really, really good at keeping, what's the word I'm looking for right now? Like, she commented on everything, and she, asked people to, host if she, because she wanted the rewards from their parties and stuff like that. So
very good. Boy, that's a keeper.
She was awesome.
Not many hosts could do that. If we can get them all like that, we'd all have extremely successful businesses, wouldn't we? How about you, Kayleen? What's happening in your neck of the woods?
I closed out my cooking show.
Yay!
The girl wanted to become a consultant, but then decided that she needed to take a step back and not jump into so many things. She's a unique consultant. She's a pure romance consultant. She does tip. So she decided that even though she wants to, she needs to take a step back for just a little bit before she tries to jump in. But she said that this really put some confidence into her cooking, since she can burn eggs. And we made the zucchini noodle carbonara. Mm-hmm. And she was like, this is amazing. Like, this was so much fun to cook. And we also made the s'mores cake. So, and we had a $500 party with 3 people at a cooking show.
Nice. Well, so, yeah. Very good. Good deal. So then your October and November calendars, how are those looking?
My October, I only need 1 more virtual party to make my goal.
Perfect month.
Mm-hmm. Yep, my perfect month. And then my November, I have 1 cooking and 1 virtual so far.
Okay. So. Good. How about how you guys are doing tracking your leads?
I still need to get a planner. I've got notes everywhere, but I need to actually get like a planner.
Yeah. You're using your phone for that?
Pretty much, yeah. I've got a bunch of notes everywhere, kind of scattered. But
you know what you can do in the meantime too is print them off online. Oh, you don't have a printer, do you?
No.
Ah, gotcha. Well, did you get my package that I sent you?
Me?
Yeah.
No, when'd you send it?
Last week sometime.
Um,
Probably at the end of the week. There's a little notebook in there. You can keep track of your leads in that notebook.
yeah, I haven't gotten yet.
Okay. Well, it'll be there soon.
I was
Yeah,
saying
well,
too,
obviously today I went to mail out a host packet today and
the holiday.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true. The holiday today. No mail ran today. So I'm sure that didn't help.
No.
It is very helpful to keep track of those. You can write notes in that little notebook.
Right.
That kind of thing. And maybe I'll try to shoot you up a little calendar or something.
Yeah, I might have Richie print something off at work for me too.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So you can keep up with those things. So, and 321 will help with this to help us fill our calendars. If you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. So we have to at least ask. And if you don't go after what you want, of course, you'll never have it. So let's step forward and move forward so we're not always staying in the same spot, right? So 3 contacts a day, 2 shows a week, 1 recruit a month is the formula for success that we can certainly do. So let's see. What about the homework? Anybody, was they able to listen to the Make It Impactful? I'll be honest, I didn't get to listen to it.
I don't remember if I did. I'm trying to think.
All right.
I think it was
I think it was on host coaching.
yes, because I was like I listened to it in preparation for last week, and it's called Make It Impactful because it was host coaching stuff that I had listened to. But it was basically talking about like making your interaction poignant, like making it worth something, not just kind of just talking randomly. Have a point to what you're saying and do that host coaching, the interaction, letting them know that you are there. It's a lot of stuff that kind of like you guys have covered in your host coaching
Exactly.
seminar.
We've talked a lot about host coaching recently. So yeah, that kind of a thing. All right. So here, let's move on to something more fun, sharing the opportunity. It's really a 3-step process. Okay. Where you first inform, then you want to invite, and then you have an opportunity chat. And which we'll talk about each of these in detail a little bit more. So what is the difference between informing and inviting? Well, when you inform your show guests about the opportunity, you are simply giving them information, okay? You'll want to give enough information to help create interest in our business opportunity. An example of this are when you tell your story, okay? When you plant recruiting seeds at your shows like, this came in my kit, or this item is included in the extra bonus items you can earn this month if you start your own business. And go over the questions on the survey drawing door price slip at the end of your show. Do you guys use those? So when you did your live show, Kayleen, did you use the drawing slips? No?
No, because there was only 3 people there. It was the mom, and so I gave everybody a season's best cookbook.
Okay.
Because everybody was over a $100 order.
Right.
I gave everybody a season's best cookbook, and then we had one little girl that was there. And so I originally was going to do a drawing. I had brought the old cookie cutters, the old Halloween cookie cutters, but we had one little girl there that was 2 years old, and so I had given them to her, and that was like the best thing in the world. And that is the reason actually why the host wanted to become a consultant so bad, is she thought that was the most amazing thing in the entire world. She said that was icing on the cake.
Aww.
So.
Well, very good. And she may come back to you. She may decide to drop some of those other things and come back to you.
I think when things settle down or she drops one of her other direct sales because she can't keep up with the requirements, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Not to mention the difference between them, because they all have a different order process. They all have a different, you know what I'm saying? Catalogs, host programs. I mean, oh my gosh.
Well, that, and
can
she
imagine.
believe that she had a $500 party from only 3 people showing up, and she did have 2 outside orders. The past host that her party was booked on couldn't make it, and then she had a friend that from work that had ordered. So she only had 5 orders.
Right.
She had a $500 party.
Yeah.
501.
Very good. Very good. Very good. So, and then in our virtual parties is the posts about why you love being a consultant, or our new consultant kits, those kinds of posts. So you're also informing when you play a recruiting game or activity, or when posts for guests to ask questions about your job. Inviting is when you actually invite guests individually to learn more. Okay, it's not inviting them to sell. It might be as simple as seeing if they want to join you for a cup of coffee or a soda to chat and see if Pampered Chef looks like a good fit for them. Or even calling, texting, or private messaging them with that information. So you want to make sure you always don't stop at informing. You want to go one step further and extend an invitation to find out more. Okay. And when to inform? Informing can happen at several different parts of your cooking show or your virtual show. The first one will probably be during what we call the group hello. Okay. That's where guests introduce themselves and tell how they know the hosts. This will be where you will tell a little bit about yourself as well. You may choose to tell your Pampered Chef story at the beginning of the show, or you may choose to do it at the end. I personally do mine at the beginning. I feel like it's a good way to introduce myself to them. But you can certainly say, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to do this, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you a little bit more about myself at the end of the party. You can do it that way too. You'll also want to sprinkle those seeds about recruiting throughout your cooking shows. So if you're doing a station style show, you may choose to do a focus on a particular power tool, like the Everyday Rock Crock, and say something like this. This amazing Everyday Rock Crock is so versatile, and I love using mine in my kitchen at home. It actually came in my new consultant kit, so if you fall in love with this product today, you decide you want to add it to your kitchen, it's only $119. But for just $40 more, you can decide to give this amazing business a try and purchase the deluxe kit instead. And you'll get that rock crock and simple slice that we just used, which is $32. Plus, you'll get another $300 more in products, many of which we've used today. So for just $159, we'll talk more about this in a bit, something rather like that. Or you may want to mention some other perks of being a consultant as you do your show, like a trip you're earning, or that you have 2 other Facebook parties running right now while you're at this party. You'll want to share more information about doing a confident close as you wrap up the party, like as you go over the questions on the survey slip, aka door prize drawing slip. Remember, it's not about giving away a prize, it's about collecting leads. So if you give out the survey slips without talking about them, you probably will only get first names and mostly all no responses. However, if you talk about each of the items on the survey slip as they complete them, you'll actually get great leads. When you talk about learning more about the earning opportunity, you might say something like this. We've talked a bit tonight about how amazing my job is. You probably didn't come here looking for a job, but if you thought that what I'm doing looks like fun, or if you need to make some extra money with a lot of flexibility and freedom to work when and where you want to, or if you just love these tools and want everything, you really should think about giving this business a try. When you purchase one of our new consultant kits, you aren't signing up to sell for the next 20 years. You're just saying, hey, I'll give it a try by doing a handful of shows to see if PC is a good fit for me and my family. If it's not, you've earned the investment you've made back on the kit, you have the money in your pocket, and you have the best kitchen tools on the market in your own kitchen. However, you might just find that Pampered Chef is a perfect fit for you, and it could change your life. How would you like to have the financial freedom that you want? To not have to lie awake worrying about the bills, to be debt-free, to have a job that you can work around your family life instead of your family working around your job. I invite each of you to think about what I do, and I'll be here to help you every step of the way. Mark yes or maybe on the survey slip, and I can send you home with a little information. Or we can get together for coffee or a soda and see if it looks like a good fit. Something rather like that. I know that's a lot of words. If you want me to post those in the event, I can certainly do that. Sound like a plan? Okay. So while you're at your parties or even online, watch for what we call red flag questions. These are things that, they're sending up a little signal that you may not realize are actually setting up a signal, but they really are. So when people ask questions like these, you might be thinking, oh, how nice. She's actually interested in me. But what she is probably thinking instead is, could this be something that might work for me? Okay, so if they ask you these, you guys ever hear them ask these questions? Like how many shows you do a week? All the time.
Yeah, I post that Ask Me Anything.
Mm-hmm.
I always make that post, and I always get like, how much do you make, or how often do you work?
Right. Good deal. And that's actually them seeing whether or not they could fit that into their schedule, you know, because they may be thinking, gosh, you're doing this every night of the week, you know, and online parties you technically could, but I don't know about you guys, but I find those online parties to be a lot of work. I mean, I feel like I'm in front of my computer or device at all times posting. No? Ugh. I'm just an old dog learning something new. I just prefer to be in front of people. I actually hadn't done a live party in a long time until Friday night, and I felt so at home being in front of those people. I was like, "Woo, here I am again. Yay!"
And my anxiety kills me every time I have to go do an in-home party. I'm like, oh my God, please let it be over.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go do your live parties. You post on my virtual parties, and we'll both be successful, okay? But yeah, these are some obvious questions that they ask. So keep your answers short, just a couple of sentences, and then say, have you ever thought about doing something like this? You know, does your husband mind if you do this? That, believe it or not, is one where they don't think their husband would let them out of the house. And some husbands don't. They want their girl home with the kids. Don't let me go there, but that's what I see a lot of. Other red flag behaviors. You can notice and interact with the people who get there early or stay late. You're always going to see that too. You know, if people offer to help. That's a hard one for me. Like if I'm trying to roll my stuff out, I don't know if actually I don't think any of you have been to my live party. I use a luggage cart. I put the bag that they give us on it, and then I have a tote bag that has catalogs and paperwork in it, and then I roll out the door. And so I'm in and out in one trip. And they're always like, well, can I help you with that? I'm like, well, I don't know what they think they're going to carry because I got it all moving, you know? So that's one where I'm like, no, I'm good, but you can get the door for me. That'd be fantastic. But so besides the questions people ask you, you can always sometimes tell by people's behaviors. So these are some of the telltale signs that they're going to say. So, you know, oh yeah, my notes in here said when people ask if they can help, oh no, thanks, I have a system. Let them help you, they say. But I have a hard time figuring out what I can let them help me with other than get the door and talking me out the door. It will give you an opportunity to ask them if they would like more information. And don't forget to tell your story and notice who is hanging on your every word. You'll be able to tell. And people who are very interactive during the show ask lots of questions, make lots of comments, and or they say they have lots of PC at their house. Those are great leads. So if someone has lots of PC, gave lots of tips, or maybe even sold PC before, be sure to talk with these people at full service checkout in a very direct way. You know, like I noticed that you had, you have a lot of our products. You're obviously a big fan of Pampered Chef. Have you ever thought about selling this before? Have you maybe ever been a consultant before and maybe you want to pick it up back up again? You know, we have a lot of new products. We have a very streamlined system now. Our training is, you know, much more, I don't know, I was going to say direct, but our training is much more complete, you know, than it used to be. So, you know, things like that, just ask some direct questions, you know. Did you know you sold 5 manual food processors for me tonight? Just because you talked about how amazing it was, 5 people actually bought it? You'd be so great at this if you ever thought about it, you know, that kind of a thing. Okay. And be sure to tell your story. We've talked a little bit about this. You're going to want to include why you started Pampered Chef, why you stay with Pampered Chef, because they may be very different reasons. I know for me it is. And what you're excited about next, you know. Be sure to keep your story short and very relatable. Some people could go on and on and on. Remember, it's not really about you. It's just to get them to connect to something about your story to see if they relate to that story. You know, like what I think you 3 have in common that I don't anymore is that you have young children. So your reasons for doing this could be very different than mine right now. For me, that was my reason when I started. It was just like you guys. You know, I think Julie and I had this conversation. I needed to be out and talk to someone that didn't need me to wipe their nose, wipe their butt, you know, feed them, prep for them. I'm like, I need to go be a woman and be an adult. And I want to talk to someone in a full sentence, you know? Oh, we used to have a saying, it was the best thing I did for my family, away from my family. You know, and now it's a different story, obviously, because I have big kids, but that was my reason for starting. So you're going to relate to that. And so I usually tell people that kind of a thing at my parties. You know, when I started, I started for these reasons. Well, now my reason is because I love my free vacations and I love to help other people have what I have with Pampered Chef, you know? So definitely, if you go into too much detail about things, people can't relate to that and they will just tune you right out. I always say you can talk them right into it and then right out of it because you talk too much. So we got to be real careful with that. Okay. So you might say something like this. I got started with Pampered Chef because I fell in love with the products and wanted them all in my kitchen, but couldn't afford to buy them all. That may sound like a lot of you guys. So we had some extra spending money at first, but what I found was that I could actually make my car payment too, along with pizza and the movies. And then I could also pay the mortgage and make a significant contribution to our monthly expenses. And that's exactly what happened in my situation. So, you know, people need to see the development of it, that it can start for one reason and develop into something else. I'm working now on becoming a director with our company, so I'm looking for people who want to be consultants, right? But I'm also looking for leaders who might want to do this along with me. So watch what I do tonight, and if it looks like something you'd like to try, I'd love to talk with you more. Okay. So some different recruiting activities. And again, most of this is focused around live parties, which I think each of you plan on doing at least one live party here or there. So, and if there's ways that you can do these things in your virtual parties as well, then it'd be successful. So my favorite one to do is the ticket game. I always have tickets in my apron pocket. And when I get to the end of the party, I like to do the ticket game. What you can also do is you can set a timer for 4 to 5 minutes and tell guests that they will get a ticket for each question they ask you about your job, and they can be as nosy as they want. Sometimes I have called it the Let's Get Nosy segment of my party, you know, where I tell them they can ask any question about my business that they want, and you know, and I'll give them all a ticket for it. And you can, what I give away at the end is like a season's best. If you have a citrus peeler or you have some other little thing that you can get off of the supply order, you can do that. Pass the prize works the same way, but instead of tickets, you hand the prize to the one person. They pass it along to the next one as they ask questions. So you would pass around the season's best, or you would pass around the citrus peeler or something or other like that. And as they ask questions, you know, you just pass it. So whoever asks a question gets that. If things are going slowly, you might stand beside the nearest person to you and say, "Oh, you want to know how much money I make?" and then hand them the product. You know, and the answer is, because sometimes I do that too with the tickets. If people aren't asking any questions, then I might rip off a ticket, hand it to the first person or the person who looks the most lost or out there. So, oh gosh, I'm so glad you asked how much money I make. Well, that's not too nosy of a question, blah, 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 and just go on with that, okay? Envelope game involves handing an envelope to 3 different people with numbers 1 through 3 on the outside. So I have 3 envelopes. Ask the person with envelope number 1 to open it and tell how much the commission check is for. She will say $432. And these are some, actually, if you look in the file section of the team page, you'll probably find these on there. And you'll say, you know, this was Sally on my team, a new consultant who just started and did 1 virtual party per week. This is her first commission check. Then envelope number 2 will have a higher amount, say $1,200. And you'll say that's Samantha, and she's been with our team for about 6 months. She does 2 shows a week, and here's her commission check. And then the envelope number 3 will have more like, say, $3,000 and say, this is my commission check, and I did 8 shows last month and have a team of 25 people, which could be one of my checks or Christy's checks. And so that they could see what it's like when you move into leadership with the company. And my paycheck is usually around $3,000, $3,500, depending on the month. So those are real numbers that you can use. Next one is Did You Know cards are either index cards or stickers that you placed on random catalogs. Towards the end of the show, you can ask who has an index card or sticker and have them read the Did You Know statement. And I think you'll find this on Consultants Corner. I believe those are on there. And then the why bag is kind of fun. You just take a bag and you put a bunch of little items in there that explain why you do Pampered Chef. Like you could have a set of car keys because it makes your car payment. You could have a baby rattle because it allows you to be at home with your babies. You could have a cut-up credit card. You know, it helps you pay off debt. You know, that kind of thing. A rubber band because of the flexibility it gives you in your schedule. You know, that kind of thing. So we can have all kinds of different things in there. Some people like to put an actual bra in there and says from the support that I get from other consultants. That's a little out there for me. I don't think I have the courage to do that. So I don't know, maybe put a girdle I might feel better putting a girdle than a bra. I don't know why. That just, it's uncomfortable to me. But anyway, oh, and here's another fun one. You can put a Halloween witch in there because I never have to work for one of these again. I like that one. You'll get some laughs, but it'll get the point across. And that's kind of what you like to do too. I always do one of those things like when I flub up, I can't imagine you all will ever think that I might make a mistake in my parties, right? And I can't even get this right. You think I'm going to go through a party flawless? You kidding me? And I always just joke and I say, what's that?
So you could do the Y bag with the virtual party, because I've seen people go through and do like a scavenger hunt. And so you could turn it as a scavenger hunt, post a picture of it, and then you say why you asked them to find that item.
There you go. That's a good reason. Very good. I always say it's a good thing I can't get fired from this, right? And then they kind of laugh because it's the truth. And then the recruiting slide, I don't know if we still have these in the supply order, but it was a slide of things that explained why you like being a consultant. You know, like it could be trips, it could be the flexibility, it could be make my own schedule, it could be, you know, a picture of your kids, being home with the kids, that kind of a thing. Okay, so, but just pick one and do it. That's all I got to say is just do it. Whatever is the easiest thing for you. I like the ticket game because I don't have to remember to bring anything. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't happen to have a prize, I give them free shipping because I get a little flighty and I can't remember to bring things. So that works for me. Sharing the opportunity on virtual parties. Here's a good, we were talking a little bit about that. You can say, ask me a question about my job, why I love being a consultant, commission check game, follow up with anyone who likes or comments about the opportunity, perks of being a consultant, Google survey slip. Kayleen, do you do one of those on your virtual parties?
Nope, because nobody fills them out.
I know. Okay, full service checkout calls, so you can be doing that. Like when they placed orders, just give them a call and follow up with them that way.
I do that. I have started doing the full service checkout calls.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. If possible, and besides verifying their order and shipping address, you'll want to offer them the opportunity to find out more about becoming a consultant as well as booking a show. If you're on the direct ship now, you're going to want to reach out to them after their orders are placed and do the same thing. Okay. It's also a great business practice to send a thank you email to each ordering guest with a recipe and offer info about booking and joining your team. I need to be better about that. I'll be completely transparent and honest with you. I'm not very good about that. But I can see where that would really grow your business. And the most important person to follow up with, of course, is your host. She's your best potential recruit. So ask the host before the show starts and maybe turn it into her first party, you know? So during the show and at the end before you close, tell them about Kick Credit and see if they want to give it a try, okay? Here are some great posts from the Pampered Chef website. These next few slides are graphics from marketing imagery under the training tab on Consultants Corner. They're under social media and then under booking and recruiting. So we've got just a couple examples that you can post, and you probably already are doing these. You know, this one's kind of nice. A year from today, you'll wish you'd started today. And that's kind of how I felt. That was kind of like my one regret when I signed up to sell, was that I had taken so long to make that decision, to get the gusto and the courage to actually do it. Believe it or not, I know I talk a mile a minute, but that was my biggest fear, was talking in front of people. I didn't want to do that. I wasn't very comfortable with that. And so I kind of hemmed and hawed about it and just wouldn't do it. And then actually my sister forced me into it. When I mean that. She bought my kit and said, oh my God, Bobby, just do this. So I kind of felt guilty that she paid for my kit. And so I felt like I had to do it to, you know, pay her back. And now we're both still in it. So who knew? Ask me anything. I'd love to answer questions. These are just some great posts. Because if you want something in your life you've never had, you're going to have to do something you've never done, right? I mean, it's just how it is. There's room for you at our table. I like that one. It brings it all back to our mission to get families back around the table. And then you've probably seen this one. Our apron comes in 6 sizes. I think this is floating around out there all over the place, which is really nice. You know, a lot of people ask what these are. You know, it's nice and simple. This has got it all spelled out for you. Apron comes in 5 sizes. Great info, beautiful presentation. It's just nice. Okay, so when to invite. I'm so glad you asked me that. Huh. Here's a couple different times to do that. You can do it at your full service checkout. If you did an activity like the ticket game, you might ask, what about the opportunity interested you the most? Or you can say, you were so much fun at the show and you already totally love our products. Have you ever actually thought about doing something like this? If they say yes, ask them if they have more questions or if they're ready to order their new consultant kit. You can sign them up right there at the show. Or if they have more questions, try to set up an appointment to answer those the very next day. Everybody always talks about getting together in person at coffee, and that used to be more successful in the old days than now. I find most people don't want to take time out of their schedule to meet for coffee. So I always just set an appointment there over the phone to meet with them. Or like Julie and I just talked a lot through text and Facebook message. You know, whatever works. I like to say whatever works for you, that might be the better thing to do. Okay. So, hello, Elizabeth. We see you. So if they, oh, I scared her away. Whoops. Or if they have more questions, try to set up an appointment, like we said, over the phone. Move quickly before they or someone else talks them out of it. If they say no, you can ask, is that not now or not ever? Because sometimes it might just be that they need a little bit more time. You know, like I know Julie's getting ready to have another baby, so maybe she would want to wait till after the baby, or maybe she would rather do it now before the baby comes, you know, that kind of a thing. So you want to ask them, is that not now or not ever? And they'll usually laugh and say, oh, just not right now. I'm just too busy. And depending on their response, you might ask when you can follow up. Ask if they would like to be added to your Facebook group for those thinking about getting started, or if it's an emphatic no, then say, well, you know what, if circumstances ever change where you think it might be something you'd like to give it a try, I would love to help you get started. You know, most of the time I just say, well, when's a good time to follow back up with you, you know. Or if you know someone else who could use some extra money or might enjoy doing this, please think of me, okay? You can also ask those who aren't interested in the opportunity if they would like to host a show. This gives you another touch point to work with them again, and they may just change their mind. They may just be a little intimidated at first and want to see the process as a host first, okay? Another time you can invite is for future hosts when you can make your 24-hour call. I think it's back here. Your 24-hour call to confirm their party. The verbiage is on the next slide right here. And for guests, you can call or email them the day after the party to thank them for ordering. We call these Big Mac, morning after calls. Okay. So here you go. Here are the words to say to those future hosts who just booked parties from last night's show. Hey, Julie. This is Bobby Lynn with Pampered Chef. I wanted to give you a quick call to say thank you for booking a party with me. I know we're going to have so much fun. And we picked October 12th at 6 o'clock. And about how to invite. So, you know, again, you want to do that. I know that I mentioned this yesterday, but I have to say that you've been on my mind. Everybody likes to hear that they've been on your mind. You know what I mean? I think you'd be a great consultant with a Pampered Chef, and it would be terrific to have you as part of my team. I'd love to get together with you for a cup of coffee and tell you a little bit about our business. I know you'd love. I know you'll love what you hear. What do you think? You know, and move on from there. Morning after calls to a guest. Hey, Sally, it's Bobby Lynn with Pampered Chef. I wanted to give you a quick call to say thank you for attending Julie's party last night. Did you have fun? Oh, great. I know I mentioned this yesterday, but I have to say that you've been on my mind. I think it'd be, and see, they don't know that you just said this to someone else, by the way. I have to say that you've been on my mind. I think you'd be a great consultant with Pampered Chef, and it would be terrific to have you as part of my team. I'd love to get together with you for a cup of coffee and tell you a little bit about our business. I know you'll love what you hear. What do you think? So just kind of move through those ways. Guest call responses. If they say yes, perfect. Set up a time to meet. Again, it doesn't have to be in person. It can be over the phone. But they have a lot harder time saying to meet you in person. And if they actually agree to meet you in person, then they're probably really interested in the business, and they just need to, you know, ask a few more questions and just get a little more confirmation from you in person like that. If they say no, just offer to do a show. Again, go right back to the show. So at your shows, do you know these things? Because you never know who's at your show. By just looking at these people, can you tell if they're afraid their lights may be turned off tomorrow? I'm willing to bet there are people sitting out there who don't, you know, they're embarrassed to say. And they came to the party either because they really love their friend, or because they want to escape their problems, or maybe they're looking for help. You don't know why they're doing that, okay? So, or maybe they had a huge fight with their boss that day and need to find a change quickly. You can't tell by looking, so you have to ask everyone, okay? And I love this graphic. I use it in a lot of my virtual parties and at my opportunity events. Right here, ask everyone, okay? Offer the opportunity to everyone. But this is great because you don't know, you could put this up, you know, because you don't know who's doing these things, who's miserable. All right, we are senior team bound. All right, so don't forget that that is our goal. Here is our, I know I talked really fast. Did I like make your head spin? You guys are big adults. I think you can read these things, right? And you're so smart. So here's our call to action. Practice recruiting messages and activities that you'll do at your shows. So which of those activities do you guys like to do? Let's have some chat. Where are we at? 8:47. Anybody do any of those? What do you guys like to do for recruiting activity? Ask questions? Lost her.
I ask the question thing, and then I also post the at a glance that gives you the recruit or the new consultant for the next month or this month, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Specials at a glance. I love that.
Yeah, so that it kind of gives it for to be a host or to be a consultant. So I like it kind of all together in one little post.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about you guys? What do you like to do?
I'm trying to figure out what will work for me in regards to my virtual shows with adding that in there. The last party that I did did the ticket game, which I had never done for any of my other parties. So I had one day I had a couple of posts in regards to having them ask me questions that they would earn tickets for those. So I did that based off of Mary's online training that she had done. So.
And how did you, how did you judge the timing on that? Did you just have it for a certain time of day? Did you have it for 1 day? Did you have it for 2 days?
I did one day where I had did a couple of graphics in regards to joining as a team, and then I had another day where I had a couple of graphics in regards to hosting a party, and I had that like earn 10 tickets, you know, if you ask me a question. I had one girl that was just trying to rack up whatever tickets she could get just to get something, you know, to try to get something free. And so she asked a couple of questions, but she never ordered anything or did anything else with that. So I haven't added in the apron. I might try that this next time.
Okay.
And I liked your idea with going through and using the specials at a glance. That way they can actually see what they could win as opposed to just saying, you know, because I've done the graphic of like how much they could get for free based off of how much they sell. But I guess, you know, that might be something for the visual people of like seeing what they could get at 60% off or free.
Right. Okay.
So I'm still trying to play with it and figure out what'll work for me. But.
Yeah, I know that, and that's you got to keep getting parties so you can do that. You know, that was my experience in the whole thing. I've tried all these others. I've tried the Y bags. I've tried the ticket activity just works best for me. I've tried some of these other little bag tricks that they do, and I don't know. I couldn't get my groove on properly with that. So, I didn't want to try those. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't want to do the ticket game at first because I didn't want to go through and like just give away stuff all the time. But I'm trying to figure out how to get more interaction on the virtual parties. And that's been my biggest thing, is that people kind of watch it, but they're not really interacting. And I'm trying to break out of that friends and family type thing. So trying to get people to interact so that then they want to do a party, so that way I can start booking from booking. So
right.
Kayleen, maybe I need to watch one of your parties.
I'd say for the recruiting stuff, like I made a graphic where it's like the different colored spoons that what was it, Mary had talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that for an engagement post where they post, like, where it's got the different, it's like, what color spoon would you be? So it's like an engagement plus a recruiting type thing. I've done the Let's Get Nosy game on virtual parties. I've done the graphic where they, like, you're not marrying PC, where it's got the guy and the girl, you know, and you're not marrying, you know, and it talks about just trying it out. I've done the specials. I've done everything.
Do you find one of them to be more effective than the others, or I really think a lot of it's all in follow-up, you know, we have to point blank talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's really who's in your audience, you know. It's
right.
It really is going to be, if the right person is there and you follow up with them, you know, it doesn't matter what post is there. As long as they see something that catches their eye about about the recruiting being there, and you follow up with them, you're going to be fine. You know, I think as long as something about recruiting is there and you follow up with them, you're going to be fine. You just have to do something.
Right.
How do you follow up with them? Do you do messenger, text message, if you have their phone number, calling?
I do checkouts. I do checkouts with all of my virtual parties. I at least attempt to call everybody before I close my party. I don't necessarily talk to everybody. I only attempt to call once because I think it's new to me, and I'm still shaky about the whole phone. So I do attempt to call everybody to do a checkout, and I talk to them about the recruiting, and then if they say no, then I ask them about booking a party, and if they say no, then, you know, I just, okay, great, thanks, you know.
Right.
I do send an email. When I close my party, I send an email to every single person with a recipe with something that they bought. So if they bought something, I send them a recipe that links back to my website. And then at 2 weeks, I try to follow up with everybody still. I'm trying to get into that 2 day, 2 week, 2 month. So my 2 day follow up is literally just a thank you with a recipe. And my 2 weeks again is asking them about a party again.
Okay.
Do you have a form that you use?
Like for doing all of, like, keeping track, I use the one off the Host Coaching monthly tracker.
Mm-hmm.
But then I kind of whited out the top and made my own, like, of what I wanted to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I put in my own things. And then I kind of made a spreadsheet that has, like, their name and what they bought and follow up at 2 months or 2 days, 2 weeks. And then I highlight the ones that are parties that booked from them. So.
Okay. Well, good. All right. So here's your call to action. Practice those activities that you'll do at your shows. Observe a strong recruiter show if you have that opportunity. Offer the opportunity to everyone at full service checkout and do the 24-hour follow-up call. Okay. Remember, we're going to track these. So you probably will get that notebook tomorrow, Julie, because I know I sent it off. Might have been Friday. So it's probably on its way up there.
Okay.
Make 15 contacts a week outside of your parties. So wherever you are out and about in the next week and a half, forget about right now. Do a power hour for bookings and recruits. I think we might have talked about these in the past. Basically, it just means take one chunk of hour, if you can find an hour, and do just, like, I would say, do 30 minutes on bookings and 30 minutes on recruiting. Or you may want to just combine them all in your phone calls and hit both booking and recruiting at the same time in those phone calls. And then here's a video or audio to listen to. Top Recruiters Tell It All with Brenda Coppy and Genevieve Black. Brenda Coffey was one at conference who just promoted to executive director. Genevieve Black, and they're both top sellers and recruiters. And Genevieve Black, huge in recruiting and selling. So these are perfect people to listen to. So keep your eye on the goal, which could be director, it could just be a really strong business. Of course, we think that you will appreciate and enjoy the director benefits much more. I think Tammy and I had a little bit of a talk about this yesterday when she was at my freezer meal workshop. It really helps you get all your products that much faster. You know, I have a ton of products, and it all happened. It started happening a lot faster when I became a director. Otherwise, I was getting one little, you know, product here and there, but once I became a director, it got that much faster and better, and it really is a lot of fun to have all the right tools in the kitchen. So I feel like it's broader, like I have more options and recipes that I offer and workshops that I offer at my house because I do have all these tools. So it just makes things that much easier and more fun. All right. So again, thank you guys for your patience in allowing me to reschedule this. I'm so sorry that I was not quite with it on Wednesday, but I was in a bit of a fog all last week, and I'm back. I'm ready to move forward. It's all in the past at this point, but anyway, grace is appreciated. All right. Yay! You guys rock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So y'all have a good night. I hope you feel better, Julie.
Thank you. I can't take any medicine. Pregnancy and cough or colds do not mix. So.
I know. Well, see, that's part of it, I think, is your immune system is compromised a little bit, too. Someone's sucking enough out of you that, you know, you got to have extra to take care of both of you.
Right.
Yeah. All right, girl. Y'all take care.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.